Hey guys, how's it going? Twiggs here. So we're going to be checking out the newest updated version of the Prydwen tier list, since that tier list video popped off pretty well on my channel. I thought I might as well just cover the updated version and bring it to you guys. So with that being said, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. Hitting that like button helps get the video out there. Hitting that subscribe button helps us grow a channel over here, helps us grow the community. So if you guys can hit that like and subscribe button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now we're looking at post-launch Wuthering Waves. We now have more tangible data we can play around with to understand these characters better. Plus, some characters got buffs post-launch. And that is definitely, like I said in my last video, going to have a big change on this tier list. So with that being said, I want to give a big shout out to those guys from Prydwen. They put up a really good tier list, really good information, and I would definitely want to remind you guys that this data is based on Tower of Adversity. That is going to be content that we're going to be going to every so often to get the rewards, since those rewards from that game mode refresh. So with that being said, we are still looking at the typical top tier characters. Jian is still on the very top of the board for damage dealers. When it comes to sub-DPS type characters, Yinland, even though she's not in the game yet, is still looking to be a top tier character. And I can speak to this, Verena is nuts as a support, and no character really comes close to Verena as a support, since she heals, buffs, and deals modest damage. Ultimate support in Verena, and it's going to be a while before we probably even see her coming close to being power crept, since she does so much already. And then still in the damage dealers, we're still looking at Calcharo and Encore being respectable damage dealers, still in a modest T0.5, which is pretty much like regular S tier. Calcharo, though, is going to be a character to look at when Yinland comes out, since Yinland buffs electro damage, and Calcharo is going to just love the shit out of that. Calcharo might even come up here to Jian, but we'll have to definitely see when Yinland pops off in the game, when she does come out. Mortify is still absolutely nuts as a sub-DPS character. I can attest to this. I've been using this dude since the launch of the game, and I'm loving it. He is absolutely nuts, especially when you combine him with characters like Jian or even Jin Shin, because he buffs charge attacks. And when Jin Shin's doing her charge attack with the AoE, the coordinated fireball attacks from Mortefi's ult just keep launching with Jin Shin's charge attack swirl technique with her forte ability. And this is where we're going to get into some newer stuff. So before we talk about Sanhua, we need to talk about Havoc Rover. And this also will tie into Donjin. So Havoc Rover has been released into the game. You get Havoc Rover roughly at the end of the story, and Havoc Rover is pretty good. I've only gotten to try a little bit of Havoc Rover. I do plan on sinking my teeth into Havoc Rover, and plus female Havoc Rover with the fallen black one-winged angel look. So cool. It's so good. So with Havoc Rover pretty much being an A tier character, since that's pretty much what T1 is, this ties into her kit, which is basically centered around basic attacks. Now, this ties into Sanhua. With the addition of the Havoc Rover to the tier list, who deals a large chunk of their damage through basic attacks, Sanhua finds another team to call home. This addition means Sanhua is now the best support in Encore, Ling Yang, and Havoc Rover teams. Sanhua, if you guys didn't know, her outro skill buffs basic attacks. On the top of that, Sanhua also easily slots into other teams as a generic carrier of the 5-piece Moonlit set and Huron Echo, meaning she can extend her usability even beyond this with some of the most coverage lowest field time, and effective concerto rotations, Sanhua joins Mortify as one of the go-to hybrid options for most teams. And on top of that, if you wanted to use Donjin as more of a support role, Donjin got the multi-role tag due to the fact that her outro skill buffs Havoc damage deepen. If you wanted to, you could use Donjin as a support for Havoc Rover and kind of like a sub-DPS. But people are more so eyeballing Sanhua because of the basic attack outro, and Sanhua is already really good alone with just using Havoc Rover and then slotting in a healer or support character in that third slot. So you could do something like Havoc Rover, Sanhua, and Verena, or Baiji if you want to go more free to play. So that is why Sanhua got buffed up on the tier list, because of the addition of Havoc Rover. Now, moreover, my girl Jin Shin got buffed up to A tier. Reason is, Jin Shin has a Liberation Damage Deepen outro, which is excellent for characters like Calcharo, or especially for when your Lian Lin arrives as his premium support, raising her value. Additionally, thanks to the community theory crafting efforts and alternative ways of conducting Jin Shin's concerto rotation, it has been discovered offering for a much faster option and a much higher potential to be played as a support. For explanation's sake, the new rotation involves starting and stopping her Forte gauge, Primordial Jade Spiral, the AoE charge heavy attack, basically stopping and starting that as fast as possible just to gain Resonance Energy and concerto from it. This new rotation loses out on some of her incredibly powerful kit like the shield, but drastically reduces her field time, making her a more stronger choice for hybrid characters, and also taking more advantage of her damage deepen that she can give to the damage dealers of the team. And then we still got our free-to-play Baiji still sitting comfortably at A tier, since she is a good support and good healer. And Alto got a buff just because his outro skill does now stack more favorably with damage deepen outro skills. And Yang Yang got buffed up just a little bit for... So because damage deepen is now so desired in our kits and our rotations, the reason Yang Yang is kind of now buffed up is because a lot of the characters that are in the game right now, more specifically our main DPSs, like Jian, Calcharo, Encore, and even the Havoc Rover, since they all love using their ults to do damage, what's so pivotal and makes Yang Yang more and more enticing to use is because her outro skill grants energy to the ults. That way, for example, if you were running Verena, she gives an all damage type deepen, swap over to Yang Yang, activate her ult, get her concerto energy stacked up. Hopefully it's already is, or at least almost popped off. Then swap to your DPS, like for example, let's say Jian, and then because Yang Yang gives energy with her outro skill, Jian gets topped off, bam, pop ult, taking advantage of the damage deepen from Verena. So, bam. That's why Yang Yang is so good as a support, and why I didn't think of that, because people are actually running Yang Yang as a support just because of her outro skill, gifting energy and topping off ults. So the problem with Tauchi and why she is the lone character sitting on the bottom of the tier list is just specifically because her heals are just mid. Her shield, it might be good, but the other reason is because Tauchi doesn't really bring anything else to the table. And before any of you guys argue, hey, she does give a damage deepen stop right there, please. Her damage deepen is just for resonant skill damage. So that would mean that you would have to make sure you're pairing Tao Chi with a damage dealer who loves spamming their skill, and a lot of times there's not a character that spams the shit out of their skill other than kind of Don Jin, but Don Jin bounces back between her skill and her basic attacks. So Don Jin's only capitalizing on the skill damage deepen only half of the time. So that's the new Prydwen tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed me covering it. I tried not to go over too much stuff that's already been talked about. For example, Alto just going up a little bit is just because he kind of pairs alright with Jian, but there's just other characters that pair better with Jian. Chixia is still mid as hell. Ling Yang is still just mid as hell, so not worth really talking about. Same thing with Rover Spectro. Nothing really changed about their kid. Right now the new cool thing is Havoc Rover. But again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys hit that like button for me, and while you're at it, definitely hit that subscribe button for me. Hitting that like and subscribe button helps out the video and also helps us build a community over here and helps us build the channel. So if you guys can hit that like and subscribe button, I'd greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys later.